Hello, everybody! It's your Wonderful Wind Mage, your Cruz Ship servant, Chartreuse Proxy, ever and always at your service now. Alright, everybody, this is a very impromptu recording that I'm doing tonight. And actually, since I'm offline, I guess I can actually really boost up my little figure right here tonight to really get to show things off. But we got announced a Mega Stretcher Season 4, and to be honest, I was really not expecting it this early, or rather I wasn't even really keeping up with how soon Season 4 was coming around. So, this is impromptu, but I want to cover things, so let's get around to it now, shall we, everybody? So yeah, Season 4 is coming along. It keeps scaling my thing back and forth because I want to scroll down on Steam. I don't know if it'll fit it. Alright, we're good. So, let's read these patch notes blind and see what's going on. Hey, Striking Strikers! We're really out here with a new patch for Season 4. Naturally, we didn't have a ton of new stuff, but we still want to bring some new changes. Season reset. New season, let's go. It's funny that I actually hit my peak of middle of mid-challenger, like 52 out of 100 of mid-challenger, when Season 4 ended, just out of my last recording. So I didn't expect that to get that high, but hey, I'll take it, and that's a new high for everything and everything like that. But yeah, let's get on to it. Season reset. New season, let's go. Start the climb. The reset algorithm backend has improved pretty nicely, with fits some nice budge, when people are unintentionally losing progress or getting won games. Great rewards. Aquatane and Goal Explosion. That's just for everything once you hit challenge at any time. There you go. Top titles, nothing really relevant for me. A Now recolor for anyone who reaches their... Ooh, considering how Now didn't have skins before, and before that Kazan as well, that's pretty nice. Emote for plots, emote for playing games, that's fine. Most rewards will be based on your season peak rating, but the top ones will be your position rating at the end. Alright, there you go. Map rotation. By the way, there's one fewer map in the rotation. Rotate it out. So instead of 7, there's 6. Night Market's out. No! Night Market's always been a really good map. I've always loved Night Market. It feels like the stock standard, just good map in general for so many different playstyles. That's sad. Gates is out. I like Gates. I've grown fond of it, but there are playstyles I feel are dominating more on it. But I think it's always had a really high skill cap, especially with how you can play with it from both a forward and goalie end, so I'm sad to see it go. Athens City out. I like Athens City, but it's been rotated in and out enough. I'm not going to mind it too much. Rotated in. Atlas's Lab. I love Atlas's. I think it's a very simple concept, and once again, it's like low skill 4, high skill ceiling for understanding how to control the tempo on the map. Taiko Temple. I don't understand it enough, and it doesn't mesh well with my playstyle, so I don't like it. That's just me. I think this is a net negative for my end, but think about it. There's 6 maps instead of 7 in the rotation, so right now we have Atlas, Taiko, Clarion, Imes, Oni. What else am I forgetting? We don't have Inkies. That's not 5 maps. We have to have 6. Hold on. Am I losing my sauce here? Atlas, Taiko, Oni, Clarion, Imes. Shoot, what am I forgetting? Alright, I'm gonna look this up because I'm losing my mind here. Omega Strikers maps. Or arenas, as it's explicitly called. Let me check this real quick. Demon Dice! Demon Dice is still in. Okay, there we go. Well, it depends on what awakenings are rotated in. Overall, I think it's totally fine for it to change from 6 to 7. I think, like, for when it comes to the comp scene or so, they're gonna have to see, whatever it comes to for map pits and bans. But I think, I don't think it's necessarily bad to shrink the pool when it comes to for the ranked environment. But I do feel like I just got a lot of repeat maps when it comes to anyway, so maybe it's just my luck. Striker buffs and nerfs. I mean, nerfs so small you can control this kitten sized. Minus 10 power, minus 20 not bad. On Cyber Swipe. Yeah, that's totally a nothing burger. Nothing too much. It's not going to change the game, but, if they're going to do small tunes, then I'm going to understand it. Atlas, Celestial Intervention, Bud Fits. Revives should now work properly, should no longer fail to revive in some instances. Yeah, I feel like in some of my recent games, I've seen it to where I would KO somebody, but instead of them snapping back to the Celestial Intervention, they just stay on the edge, they don't get KO'd, and they just get unstaggered, and it's just kind of awkward and weird. So I'm glad that that is something recognized, and they hopefully should have fixed. Drek, after recent buffs, Wizard has been bringing up plays at higher elo, and now he's gonna do it less. Mold and bolt cooldown increased by 5 seconds. I very much understand this because maybe it's just I don't see Drek enough, nor do I play Drek to understand how easy you can get sharped because you just did Molten Bolt, like, you can just get Lock and Load, Molten Bolt, Lock and Load, and then Molten Bolt, Lock and Load, any pummelers, any heavy impact, you're just gone in the wind just from having one of those traits, and you get started so easily, not to mention how with some instant traits existing, Cast Loss there, Chrono Boost existing, means that Molten Bolt can actually really tick badly when Dread forces you into a lose-lose if you have to contest the core, and then you're ticking, and then you're dead. I can see this nerf. Granted, I haven't seen as many Dreads as our previous seasons, but the ones that I do, that game point absolutely comes to a fault. So I can see it, but it's not necessarily a specialist change that affects me as much, or rather I'm gonna see from my end. Fini Joey is nuts. Fini show canceled a little. Agreement right there. Fini Joey absolutely ran the table on certain maps, and if there's a Fini queuing on some recording nights, on some stream nights, if you didn't have them on their team, you basically had to respect ban them. Because I feel like Fini is overtaking Luna for absolute presence, and especially so with how Triple Tate became more selfish in value for its debuff. Fact is, that just meant Fini should play a lot more confidently and embolden their own plays, and holy crap, are confident Finis absolutely scary for even trying to get across the side of the map. I understand this nerf, and I would agree with it. As much as it does suck for me, considering how I don't play Joey, but I do play Fini. Gates of Obscura is out, so I can see that out of the way. And with Tycho coming in, that could also be a problem. But yeah, Fini absolutely did benefit a lot recently, and I do see the opportunity for getting to take her out in that end. Juliet, 10 speed is pretty okay. Juliet's strong since she was falling off in the meta. Agree there, considering how when it came to brawling, considering how Stature City was your main survival trait, if Juliet didn't have Stature or a way to really get around, she drowned out easily. But the fact is, she either just out-brawled you with a dash punch and then you just had to respect her at all times, or she outsped you and then, she has dash punch, or she just has the strike to punch. So she wants to hard confirm anyway. A little bit more speed ain't going to hurt, and considering how, Juliet versus like a Kai in a matchup, for instance, just comes down straight to speed, not to her benefits necessarily as much. I can see her getting a little bit more speed to really contend more, considering how Zentaro, Etz, Asher with switch hits can and will outmatch her when it comes to raw value at times. Juno, 10 speed and 5 power is even bigger than just 10 speed. Juno mains rejoice. I wouldn't say this is a nothing burger. This very much does have impact. I wouldn't say it's gonna move her necessarily up, but this is just decent. Kazan Joey has been super OP. We're hitting those stats in particular. What was his powers in the net? Speed down by 10, crit leverage up by 0.5. I see this, considering how crit leverage is absolutely a free 50-50 button, since it's either you get core control by winning with the crit leverage 50-50, or even if you lose it, you still have pressed the point because you're in closed form to just, be your second layer of strike without anybody needing help. That is absolutely one of, I'd probably consider his most important tool in any state of the game, and I am happy for seeing that nerfed out. Not to mention how Kazan very much so has to work off of when he decides to go in with the slip / with a maddening descent, considering how Kazan goalies, for instance, or you're taking powerhouse pauldrons for the extra size because Kazan loves size and the extra power because Kazan loves power. So this makes it a lot more punishing, even if it's 0.5 seconds, but on crit leverage. But the minus 10 speed is absolutely going to pay a lot more when, I'm saying, like I said, it may be small speed increases, decreases, but 20 speed difference between him and Juliet, him and Juno now, he will definitely make a bigger difference and force him to have to respect them a lot more. Struggling to keep up the tempo after instant cast removal for Mato, throwing her more power into her secondary to make up for what she lost. Drum and bass no longer tagged as melee, functionally unchanged. I mean, yeah, it's always a hit. Self-slow is lower. Base speed while casting is up, cooldown is lesser. I'd agree, considering how Mato has definitely fallen down in the meta prevalence, because I've seen a lot more of, like, the weirder or wackier goalies. I'm saying, like, Kazan, Fini, but I wouldn't say wacky. It's just, more unconventional compared to what we had of Creation goalies seasons 1, 2, and then we definitely had more brawler sorts of Rasmus, very much so coming into comfortability once more people understood him. Rasmus, the goalie, existed in season 1, too, but, more people understood the stole cap. Kazan very much so started running the table, and then Fini started popping up more outside of the regular goalie pits. Now, since launch, now Street has been divided among 2 groups. Really powerful in coordinated play, but also pretty weak in solo queue and not high tiers of play. We just had a lot of her stuff in the kit previously, but she's still not where we want her to be for either group. We're shaking her kit up by removing the hit stun and some PvP power from her secondary to be more reliable, and add some extra strength to her primary. We'll be keeping an eye out and we'll follow her if needed. Proximity drone is a hit from normal to light. Ooh! The cooldown is down by 3 seconds, and the arm time is down even more. I really personally love this change, considering how now kind of had her own, I wouldn't say dash punch, considering it was just more of just a punch, but you know, it is her own 1-2, and that was super polarizing with how fast it was able to trigger. Even if it being 0.25, now down to 0.15, it was still a very fast arm time. It allowed her to absolutely make plays that no other striker could anticipate on and expect, and not in the sense of, oh, I didn't expect the Julia dash punch. Oh, I didn't expect the Rasmus pendulum swing. No, now just stunned you for reasons that if you didn't understand on the solo queue environment, it sucked. And comparatively, you barely I can very much so attest to my own experience as a content creator playing like maybe like 2-3 times a week for recording. I definitely do not see nows besides maybe goalies and solo queue, but whenever I do see smidgens of tournament, unless you're counting monumental starts, now is very much so a huge prevalent pick. So I understand this exactly. Sentry drone, max duration, 3.5 to 4 seconds. Max hit power still occurs after 2 seconds. So yeah, tuning down less from her secondary to be a guaranteed 1-2 strike engine to being, she has 2 strike layers, but she still needs to win that 50-50 is important. And Sentry drone being extended means that, yeah, exactly so. They're shifting her power over, and I do think that this is a creative way to try to balance her, but we'll see for the tournament side. For the solo queue side, I don't think anything's really going to change. She's still going to be more of a goalie pitch more than anything. Octavia, we activated additional speed awakenings this patch, so we're making sure Octi doesn't go crazy with those. Oh boy, I shudder if they're bringing back more speed stuff, if like stature swatter is bad. Flow state, base speed down by 8, speed per second up by 2. So you have to scale a little bit more. So basically, Octavia can't turn and burn if she loses a strike war when flow state's up. She has to keep winning them and then turn on it unless she has an incentive trade. Okay, understandable. Rasmus, little boost aimed at higher tiered play, 10 more power, 20 more knockback. I will take that, Chief. I love Rasmus, so there you go. Rune, 5 speed and 10 power. That's the Juno chains but reversed. Fine enough. A little bit more power in Rune ain't going to hurt. It's not always doing too much damage, but he can, you know, still stack down a little bit more if his team needs. The speed is, of course, going to be the most important thing, but compare that. 165 speed for Rune. Our base stats. Is that supposed to be 465? Or speed? I mean, I guess like with the leveling. Well, either way, he is getting more speed, and that's going to let him keep up a little bit more, because that's what Rune really needs, of course, control. Vice. Last set of nerfs dampened her sound, man. We're giving her some more reliable cooldowns, but make sure she doesn't drown out the rest of the cast. Thunderstruck, 2 less seconds, 20 less power, and 10% less scaling. Ooh. As much as this seems like a mixed adjustment, I think this is positive, because the most success I've gotten out of Vice is having people respect Thunderstruck. Granted, it's respected for its 220 power, plus the scaling, of course, for the damage front, but also, like, if people don't read the patch notes, or also from muscle memory, they will still respect the Thunderstruck, and 2 less seconds means that you can continue conditioning energy out of them. I think Vice wins hard on this. Hello? X. He lost 5 power. Where did that go? To Juno? X was kind of good last patch, so we're tuning him down a bit. 5 less power, and X Maximus has 2.5 more seconds. I can see that. That's when he got going, he really did get oppressive. And with maps like Imi's app existing and still existing in here, that really hurt. Because you're not going to see him on Athens City, for example, but on Imi's app and with Taito Temple and Atlas Rod coming in, I think that's a very adjustable or understandable change, even if it is a small one. Awakenings, rotate it out. Heavy Impact, really? That's out. Bulk Up, Stinger, Reptile Remedy, Twitch Strikes, Peak. So Reverb and Unstoppable are the only survival traits in. Heavy Impact out is sad. That feels like a staple at all times. Stinger is sad. It's my favorite awakening right next to Catalyst, so that's sad to see. After they got sick of bouncing in every single patch, they just took it back out, dude. That's absolutely hilarious. But yeah, most of Statue City's out because it's just Reverb by itself again. And Big Fish to an extent. Rotate in. Stature Swatter's back. Okay. Both different spats, so size could be prevalent, so Rasmus Gaming might be more in the menu. Timeless is bad. Okay, Creation Goal is going to be definitely bad. Egoist is bad, and with Catalyst in the midst, it's really nice. Fighter Flight, Super Surge. I'm surprised that with how their rotating sits out, and especially with Statue City gone, they're not rotating back Orb Replicator. Because Sparks are out of rotation, Statue City's out of rotation, there's no full stacking trait, because we have Replicator and we have Ponder and Dancer, but no Replicator. So I'm guessing Odie's trying to trend away from Exodia builds necessarily in that case. But then that makes me question, okay, Statue Swagger and Fight or Flight, and to an extent Egoist, are your survival traits in this sense here. To sort of bulk up Reptile and peak performance out. So I can see how things are going there. Super Surge is in for heavy impact, I guess. But that explains the Octavia fits then. Because now we have Super Surge alongside Explosive Entrance. And then Chrono Boost and then Aerials. So extension trait characters are going to be huge. Octavia, Kai, Estelle especially are going to shoot up in priority, I feel so much. Deadeye, range required to activate, 25 less range. Interesting, I'll see how that fits. Egoist, burst of speed when hitting max energy, down from 80% to 60%. Okay, so Egoist just straight nerfs. I can see that, but it still is going to be strong with Catalyst or with Crit Strike in the midst. I still think that's going to very much so be a big contentious thing. Now, will it be harder to hold on to it considering Statue City's out? Because once again, we only have Bulk Up, we only have Reptile, we only have Reverb. Statue Swagger is here, Fight or Flight is here, but Statue Swagger exists when only you're staggered or half health. Fight or Flight exists only when you're staggered or below half, when you get staggered, and then you only have Unstoppable, so it's gonna be a lot more contentious to hold it, but I do think it's positive considering how it was always a ticking time bomb when it came to and all, you know? Momentum Boots nerfed. Speed boost from 20 to 15%, fair. I don't play goalie, but Momentum Boots, kind of like Switch Kits, has always run the table as the best goalie gear, bar none, 90% of the time. Momentum, it's Statue Swagger, also lowered, understandable too, with the traits down, they're providing, with Statue City out, they want things to be more volatile, and Twin Drive, cooldown, from 2.5 increase to 2.5 decrease. I think that's making it in line with Prime Time, and also the increase really didn't help much, because fact is, it's not, like, for most of the time with tempo on most characters, it's not like you could really stack 2 uses of your secondary effectively. So I think that's totally fine. I think that's a very, very fine buff. So overall, I think this patch is pretty positive, all things considered here. Lots of good changes, and the design philosophies that they want to encourage a lot more brawling and a lot more emphasis on being able to both control the core and pressure out the enemy slowly but surely. So that identity is being there of with Statue City being out, they want to emphasize you getting your 2 for 1 of hitting the core and an enemy with your abilities and finding ways to maximize that pressure. I support that agenda because I am very much so a brawler when it comes to my playstyle, but it might depend on, and we'll see how bad the meta is. I don't think it's going to be bad as Season 1 meta, but, you know, we have Unstoppable, we have Statue Swagger bad, and no stagger traits besides Big Fish and Reverb, so we'll see how volatile it could be, especially with, you know, Vice getting a bit buffed, Joey also getting buffed too. We'll see how things go, but at least for now, I think this is a W of a patch to start off Season 4. Mostly positive changes, and I can understand the more tuning. So, wherever you are, wherever you may be, whether you're on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, or more, it's been your Wonderful Wind Mage, your Cruz Ship servant, Chartreuse Proxy, ever and always at your service. Thank you all for coming by to my patch notes reading tonight, and I do hope you have a wonderful night now. I'll see you all on the Crossstrike field soon enough.